There's a Mitt sighting. We have a Mitt sighting. Mitt, you gonna come down the stairs with us? No, I'm going that way. All right, come on, Steve. How about something cute from just a few minutes ago when Rex was on top of the covers and those feet, those were Steve's feet. He was under the covers. Yeah, we're a family that sleeps together. Come on. Where's Rex? Over the furniture. Rex was just in the sunny spot there, hesitant. Yeah, we're going out this door, Rex. Come on, Steve's waiting for us. We can do this. It's a beautiful day, I think. Oh, shit kept rolling. Steve just jumped on Rex's head. All right, gotta put the lines on. And I think we're ready. T-Rex, jump up and down if you're ready to go out the door. Oh, he took a right. Maybe it is gonna rain some point. A lot of crazy energy in the atmosphere, don't you think? 61 degrees at 9:05 on November 5th. November 5th. Something about this day. Oh, yes. Crazy energy in the United States of America for the conclusion of election season. And not only crazy energy vibes all over the place, also the weather is pretty nutty. Allow me to explain as the air comes in from the southwest here in North Weymouth. That is the southern edge of a cloud right there over Boston, or the eastern and southern edge of a cloud that extends all the way south to the Gulf of Mexico. There's nothing but clear sky on the other side of that maple tree, all the way down the coast, pretty much. So let's look at it from space this morning. And there's the massive cloud. It's very dramatic over Texas and Arkansas and Missouri, with flash flooding from those towering cumulonimbus clouds. And that is the east side of a deep anomalous trough. A trough where the air goes down from Canada all the way to Mexico, and it is producing some wild weather. Look at the radar flash flooding this morning from Arkansas into Missouri, a huge area just barely east of where it was yesterday. Yes, I know, T-Rex. There's a lot of energy out here. Oh, look, a birch tree. So many things to talk about. Oh, look, another birch tree. We do weather and more. I think the highlight, maybe, of what I saw on X this morning, I can't even get out of the wind. The wind is circling around here, trying to hide from the wind. Can I hide right in here? Is the imagery, not just from Colorado, yes, Breckenridge, that looks beautiful. Of course, we're going to expect snow in Colorado in November, but I'm really impressed with what's happening in Arizona at the Snow Bowl. And this morning, my favorite video, I think, is from Angel Fire, New Mexico. What a name. And the fact that it's snowing so hard in New Mexico, this is very close to Santa Fe, to the east of Albuquerque. And the base elevation here is 8,000 feet, okay? Our tallest mountain in New England is 6,000 feet. And the top of this mountain is 10,000 feet. And they picked up about a half a foot of snow yesterday, and there's another storm coming their way. And this is one of those zones where I've been talking about how 3 feet of snow in the next 10 days. Well, mark down 1 foot with another couple to go. And also to the north, in the trough, is Montana. A blizzard warning today in Montana. The Great Falls, Montana National Weather Service, very busy with this storm. And that's separate from the one that's affecting New Mexico into Texas and Arkansas. That one in Montana actually is going to break into pieces. Part of it's going to go to the east, and another part of it's going to fall to the south for another snowstorm in New Mexico and Colorado. So that's where the trough is. In the east, we have a ridge. And with that ridge, we have a southerly flow, and here are the temperatures this morning. About 8 o'clock, we were already 60 degrees in a lot of spots. Still a few cool spots. With the high pressure system moving out, I mean, it was a very cold high with record lows. Remember, yesterday morning it was in the 20s. This morning, same place, close to 60. Still kind of cool in Maine. Maine did pick up 1/4 of an inch of rain and even some snow mixed last night in Caribou. So there was 1/10 of an inch of snow on top of Mount Washington, where this morning The coolest air is at the base of the auto road, at the bottom of the auto road there, 1,600 feet, 40 degrees. Then you go up the road and the temperature warms through the 40s. That's an inversion. Warmer air is lighter than cold air, so at night, cold air can sink. But we're going to mix this all out, and we are all having a warm day with increasing sunshine. So this cloud here, the northern edge or the southern edge of the cloud is going to lift that direction. So we're going to have increasing sunshine in central New England and fairly breezy too with the wind from the southwest. I knew you would find a way to wrap yourself around this thing, T-Rex. Whatever there is in the yard, you will find yourself a way to wrap around it. Let's go over here. Steve is on a long line, but he's secured, so I don't think he can escape. So this warm air is going to get even warmer. Today in Boston, here's the 5-day. It's about 65 to 70 as the air mass warms up. And then the record for today is 79 from 2004, is that right? And I don't think we're going to get that record. Or is it 1994? Either way, the record high today is 79. We're not going to get that. But tomorrow, the record high temperature is in the 70s from 2 years ago. Oh, I already forget the number. I think it's 76. And we're going to be close to that record for tomorrow. So record warmth again. Go from record cold to record warm in 2 days. But overall, we are in a warm and dry pattern. And this front is going to come to New England. And the jet stream is going to flatten out. So now we're on the northern edge of a ridge. And that trough out west is going to come east. And it's going to flatten out and go over the top of the ridge. And that means we're going to have a decaying front coming at us tomorrow night with just a few showers and then slightly cooler air coming in on Thursday and Friday, and the weekend continues to evolve. And some of the evolution of the weekend forecast has to do with what's going to happen with Tropical Storm Raphael. Tropical Storm Raphael now very close to Jamaica, and it looks like it's going to go over the Cayman Islands perhaps as a hurricane, and then over western Cuba, and then into the Gulf of Mexico. And then it's a really tough call what happens after that. The National Hurricane Center is to where I will defer, puts it really in the center of the Gulf of Mexico as a weakening storm in 5 days. The GFS would take the remnant into the Gulf of Mexico states, Louisiana, and then a remnant of that would come to New England with rain on Sunday. That's if we were to show the GFS, but in the GFS we do not trust, so we go to the Euro. The Euro is going to show it going into the Gulf of Mexico, stalling and decaying as it goes towards Mexico. And it makes a big difference in the forecast here. So let's just go right to the Euro and go day by day. We're going to stop it a couple of times. This morning, it doesn't even look like a blizzard in Montana, does it? But that 1030 high in the northwestern United States is why that's a blizzard. And that weather system's going to sink south. Meantime, all that rain coming out of the Midwest is going to go to the north of New England, and then the front gradually presses south tomorrow. And you can see it's just kind of, all the rain kind of falls apart with only slow cooling in the atmosphere with a front tomorrow night into Thursday. And it looks pretty good with winds mostly from the west, and it looks warm, not warm, but seasonable, not too cold. Behind the cold front, it's not too cold. And then there is a colder front coming at us on Friday. A lot going on. I can't show you everything at the same time, but I'll stop it again on Saturday. I've stopped it on Saturday so many times. Sorry about this wind. I'm trying to hide from the wind. Saturday afternoon, there's a high pressure system coming out of the Midwest, and the thickness over New England is 552. A few days ago, the thickness was supposed to be 522, so that's a difference of a temperature in the 40s and a temperature in the 60s, at least where there's a land breeze. On Saturday, some of us may get back to near 60. Actually, it's a shallow, cool air mass with that high pressure system. But more notable is the storm Raphael that's in the Gulf of Mexico. It looks pretty potent, but it's way away from land. And I forgot what else. There's another storm coming out of Colorado and New Mexico. Yeah, there's another storm there causing snow from New Mexico into Colorado. And then we'll put this back into motion, and that storm that's causing the snow in Colorado and New Mexico is going to drive north and tend to weaken. But then there's another system coming out of the Pacific Northwest that's going to come down, dive in, and tend to strengthen. And I'm going to stop it again next Wednesday. Now we're at November 13th, and that's a 980 millibar low over Lake Superior. That looks like a blizzard. So there could be another blizzard. We already have a blizzard warning in Montana, and there may be another one in northern Minnesota. But now this one is 7-8 days out, so we have much less faith in a 7 to 8 day forecast. Either way, there's warmer air coming back at New England once again, with the wind coming in from the west-southwest. So any cool air that comes in Friday night is long gone by Saturday and right through Tuesday into Wednesday. Put it back in motion. That storm drives to the north of New England. The hurricane pretty much falls apart in the Gulf of Mexico. You can't see it because it's so far south off the map. And then we go out to day 10. Now we're at Friday, November 15th, I think so. And there is a massive area of cold with a positive tilted trough. And the 540 line goes all the way down to Louisiana. And the 522 line is in northern New England. And there's a lot of cold in central and eastern Canada, warming up in western Canada again at that point. And look at all that rain off of New England with a low pressure system coming across North Carolina. And if that was more of a neutral or negative tilt trough, I would say, ooh, wow, we're going to get some cold and some moisture coming in here. We may have a rain-snow mix by November 15th. However, with a positive tilt trough and the way things have been going, I believe all that rain is going to slide off to the south and east of New England, and we will turn seasonably cold and then have another warm-up coming at us about November 18th or so. That's just how we're calling it. We made that kind of call on what would happen this Saturday, saying I didn't really believe it could be that cold without any Greenland blocking, and that's still the case. So there's really no appreciable rain in our forecast, just scattered showers with decaying fronts. As we don't get into any real trough, all we see is that the ridge in the southeastern United States gets dented once in a while, and we get a flattening flow, and then the ridge pops back up, and we warm back up, and no change until further notice. So I guess that concludes our weather segment. And for the and more, I had some questions about how to build a birch tree flagpole, and I tried to do a video on explaining it yesterday. I don't think it did a very good job. First of all, the base is the hardest part to secure your base. I just happened to have this decaying wall that was strong enough right there with that piece sticking out that I could plant my sort of foundation or base, and then I kind of drilled a hole through the pole, built these splints. Very Yankee ingenuity type thing. There's the bird feeder, there's the weather stick. We went over the weather stick yesterday, and this pole is fairly straight, and it's about 30 feet tall. And this pole is not quite long enough, not quite straight enough. You cut all the branches off, and then you put an eye hook on the top, and you run your line, and it takes 2 people to put it up. So that's how to build a birch tree flagpole. I talked a little about that in the end more, but more so just Angela in Florida, enjoying your break from all this New England quiet weather. Your backyard, beautiful perennial garden was leveled yesterday for the winter. So it's looking good. The team from Greg's Dependable were in and out of there so quick, pruned all your hosta and hydrangea, and then we came back to Weymouth. So we have some Cape Cod rescue garden, and then coming back to Weymouth and going out with the dog and the cat. Steve, you got yourself wound around this bucket here. Yep, I have the big piles. This is called a Yankee type backyard, and I think that bee, remember that bee last week? I think he's in there. R.I.P. late season bee. And more leaves for the worm farm. Okay, gathered those. I cleaned up underneath that maple tree, which will need cleaning up again. All right, so let's go to the end more from yesterday. Election season concludes. Oh yeah, one more thing. When I show the time lapse, if you look really quickly, there was a frost in over here yesterday. That's one of the first places I see a frost in my yard because it shows up so well in Art's bark mulch. There was a frost yesterday, and so that was the first frost in my garden, yet look at the tomato buds. So I did take an outdoor shower again yesterday. The garden lives on. My pipes are not frozen. I have not concluded my winter preparations yet. I'll do that when I see that there's a real hard freeze coming. All right, to the and more from yesterday. Still a lot of leaves on the trees, but there's Greg's Dependable Landscape and taking down the perennial garden right down to the level, down to the ground, because come back in the spring all more healthy. Interesting to see how they do the hydrangea. I'm not really a hydrangea expert. It's about 50 degrees, leaving the Bass River beauty. Plenty more leaves to come down, green ones on that, probably white oak, I believe. And we got gifted some more trees this time for the rescue garden. And the pretty kind of trees. Thank you, Scott and Kim. Did you start these from cuttings or seeds or what? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fresh magnolia in the rescue garden. And Angela's garden was put to bed. Look at this, Angela. We still got some green peppers right here. And your bed's been shaved for the winter. And it's going to be beautiful in a few more months. And they'll come back for the leaves after they're done falling. All right, let's head for the Fore River now. And we're back at the Fore River. What do you see, Steve? Pretty attentive to something out there. Staring at the waves, the sky waves, the water waves. How about the patrol boat out there? It just went by with its lights flashing. I got a couple of beachcombers going by. 50 degrees. Day of the front. Cool air. Day of a warm front. So temperature's probably gone up since last night. Rex, what do you got there? Pointer. I think the hardest part of building the flagpole is finding a straight enough birch tree and a way to secure it. I just kind of found a bunch of wood around here, and the wall was just strong enough to put a couple of support beams in, a couple of 18-inch, half-inch diameter bolts. Had to drill the hole. What's going on? And then you cut all the branches off the flag pole, well, birch tree. Before it comes a flagpole, try and find a pretty straight one. It's kind of a messy job. There are the branches. Cut them all off. This is my ladder, my secret ladder. And go up the hill. And then here's the tree that we cut last week. I'll leave a couple of branches on it for the birds. I don't think this is straight enough. But it'll be interesting. Leave some branches for the birds to stand on. No, I didn't mean to leave that one there. And there's your potential flagpole. Might work. That's not the best one. But you work with what God gives you. If you can just align it so it looks straight and it doesn't get tangled, it will work. What do you think, Steve? Will that one work? He's indifferent. Meantime, talk about trees that would like to come down. In my opinion, those maples right there, I would love for them to come down. So I can see that sunset. Now that's a professional flagpole. There's your several $100 flagpole. Most people do it. So the wind is up in the sky right now. I'll show a time lapse and call it a day. Another dry faux pas. Warm front today, cold front tomorrow. I go by every night. Sunset tours. Sumac. Plenty of that around. Lit up by the headlights. Looks pretty. Someone just deposited their maple logs and all their trash down here. Well, I don't think the sumac would be suitable. But this is a suitable spot to call it a day with a pretty pink sunset. Looking across the Fore River Bridge into Quincy. Twin River Technology emissions going fairly straight up. That's a wrap. Election season is about over.